My dear friends, we are at the gates of Christmas. Christmas is close. And the readings of today, especially the first reading in the Gospel, present two fatherly figures. Not counting God the Father, of course. But there are two human fatherly figures presented before us. One is a king. Another is the line of kings, Joseph. They are both from the same line, but both act differently. King Ahaz was the father of Hezekiah. King Ahaz was a faithless man. He did a lot of wretched things. He offered sacrifices to idols and he did so many miserable things to please the foreign gods and goddesses. And also he sacrificed his sons, asking them to walk through fire. These were some of his great abominations. Why did he do all those things? To please and appease foreign gods and goddesses. And he was even having a tough time trying to settle the conflicts from his borders. So all these things put a heavy toll on Ahaz. And it was at this time, Isaiah is interfering and he asks Ahaz to ask for a sign from God. He says, "No, I will not put God to the test." In fact, he was not having any faith or any reverence to Yahweh, the God who was the Lord and who liberated them from slavery and gave them peace and prosperity. No, he had no concern, he had no reverence or faith towards this God. All his allegiance, all his acceptance were directed towards foreign gods and goddesses. And his life was a submission to their will and to their needs. So God is saying, "Though you do not ask me for a sign, here I give you a sign. The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and you shall call his name Emmanuel." That fulfillment, of course, immediately happens in his own time, but at a later time comes the birth of Jesus, the virgin giving birth to Jesus, the son of David, of course, of the line of David himself. Of the same line, another child is born, whose kingdom will reign forever. There will be no end to his kingdom, and he will rule in such a manner as to bring peace and prosperity to his people. My dear brothers and sisters, we need to understand the difference between these two people. When one is totally godless and doesn't have any reverence to God and to the precepts of the Lord, there is another person, Joseph, of the same line, acting entirely different to the manner that he did everything according to the will of God. When Ahaz is acting according to his wits and wicked schemes, Joseph is in fact literally submitting to the way of God and the will of God and acting in accordance to the divine commands and precepts. My dear brothers and sisters, now it is a direct invitation to each one of us on how we need to submit to God. The greatest of the things happens with the submission of human beings to the will of God. And that is literally happening in the life of Joseph. And that is one of the events that we need to understand is making Christmas very special. Just try to look at it from a very human perspective. Now, it is totally impossible for a human father to accept a woman who is already with child, because he is going to marry that woman. And yet, he doesn't think about anything other than protecting the woman and the child, because he decided to divorce Mary in secret after marrying her. You see, he is trying to protect the mother and the child. Had it been King Ahaz, what he would have done? He did not even spare his own sons, and he made them walk through fire. But here Joseph on the other part is trying to protect Mary and the child. You see, God will always find somebody, God will always have His way in which He fulfills His prophecies and He fulfills His will for His people. And Joseph was one of those powerful instruments in the hand of God in order to make sure His promise to His people comes true. So if God is having that decision for us, which He enables through the intervention of a human person, how much more blessings God will bring into our lives, into our families, into our areas of presence if we are to submit to the will and ways of God. We need to think about it very seriously, my dear friends, because we always think that it is our scheming and our planning that makes things perfect. But in the life of Ahaz, it has never been so. But it was always the intervention of God. But in the life of Joseph, he went through a lot of struggle. They were mortally in danger. But yet, God made sure that none of these things really affected them, because He always had a means for them to escape the dangers. He always listened to God. He always listened to what God wanted him to do. Are we ready? Because being ready for what God wants us to do and being ready to literally fulfill it in our day-to-day lives is actually one of the most important things that Christmas is teaching us. It is that which made Christmas also possible. Don't forget it. Therefore, as we celebrate Christmas this time, we need to think, am I really willing to listen to God? Am I really willing to submit myself to the ways of God? Or am I going to stick on to my scheming and planning? God bless you.